have identity crises, and they're not really 100% sure what gender they want to be and who they are in this world. And they go out mistreating other people. They go out doing things, experimenting on other people, and taking advantage of other people. And then they want to go out and try to slander. This is classic gang stalking protocol and mentality. And for those of you who can't see it, who are blinded to the nice persona, the Christian background, and all of that, then I feel sorry for you. For those of you who are still blinded by the physical, as opposed to watching and looking at someone's fruit. And you can't look at someone's fruit if you don't know them. So you might ask, what am I talking about? I'm talking about The Battle Is Ours, Michael Barola. And I said Michael Barola, for those of you who are unsure of who it is that I'm talking about. So I made some videos about the fact that I went out upon his request in December to California, and I stayed with Michael for a week, just a week. And during that time of me being out there, I was sexually assaulted by him, and I discovered that he was and is a gang stalker. And if anyone has watched my videos, you know what my story is as far as the program that I've been put in by these gang stalkers, and the fact that I've been drugged and sexually assaulted by my stalkers and by those who are participating in the cult, the satanic cult that are monitoring and following me. So I just kind of wanted to speak about a little bit more about what happened when I went out to visit Michael. And I say visit because it was never supposed to be me staying with him or going out to California and being there permanently. The conversation that he and I had from the very beginning was about me going out to visit. I already had plans to come out where I went, and I knew that I wouldn't be able to afford California, so that within itself was a lie. But what I wanted to focus on mostly is the fact that Michael Barola is a predator. He is a predator, and any woman that is interacting with him or dealing with him, you should be very cautious. You should be very careful. And I would not advise going out and being around him and in his environment in a physical manner at all. Like I said, I know what happened to me. I have no reason to lie, to pick him out of the lineup and make up something about this individual, because prior to going out to California, I did not know this person. I believed him to be a targeted individual. I believed that he was a good person, and I believed that he was somebody that I could trust, semi. If I didn't feel that way, I would never have gone out and bothered with the experience that I ended up having. The things that he talks about in his videos are obviously blatant lies. I know this because I was there. The fact that he keeps making videos trying to defend himself, knowing that, I know the truth about what went on, is one, he's doing that because he knows that my videos on my channel have been blocked. And a lot of people are not really getting a lot of my content. So when I tell a story about what I've dealt with and what I've gone through concerning Michael, not a lot of people are hearing it. He knows that. So that's number one. Number two, because he's a gang stalker, he knows that he has pull with YouTube and all these different platforms where he can go and try to have my videos further blocked. So he's confident with coming out and repeatedly and continuously making videos because he knows not a lot of people are going to see my videos, and he knows why. When you're a true target and you're speaking the truth, you're going to be blocked, you're going to be monitored, and you're going to be the magnifying glass is going to be on you a bit deeper and a bit harder. And people that are speaking lies and spewing lies and speaking that rhetoric that is generalized, those are the people that are going to get that platform where you're going to have subscribers and you're going to have people watching your videos. So he has that backup. And like I said, all I care about are those who hear this story and who it resonates with, those who are truly targeted. And I'm basically putting this out for all of the black women, because he seems to target black women and women that are in an older demographic, because he's sick. Michael is sick. Like most gang stalkers, they're sick. He needs professional help. He plays that role, and I can say that confidently because I know the truth. I know who he was to me. I know the things he did, and I know the fact that he's getting on here making these videos and he is blatantly lying. These things about me having a rhetoric with him, the way I'm speaking to you right now is the exact same way that I spoke to him, and I will continue to play these recordings so that you can see how I spoke to him. I began recording our interactions because I knew I was dealing with a narcissistic liar, and they are so good. For those of you who are truly TIs, you come from a background dealing with a narcissist, you know how well they are when it comes to putting on that mask. How well they can go out and be charming and charismatic, and they have that innocent look like, oh, I'm just here to help. But all you have to do is to test that spirit. It's all you have to do. And anybody who has really talked to Michael, because there's a lot of people who's talked to him over the phone, can attest to what I'm saying. He's not a good person. He is extremely arrogant. The feeling that he displays that's supposed to be compassion is fake. It is contrived. And when you are around him and watching and observing his life, he's not being gang-stalked. When I was there, one of the arguments that we had was about, after he argued with me about the whole job setup, he started talking about how he was, being compromising with his uncomfortabilities with me. And one of the things that he used as an example was he had a conversation with me. He initiated this conversation and asked me, why was I eating out so much? Because while I was there, I wasn't eating his food. I wasn't freeloading off of him. I wasn't eating his grocery. I was purchasing my own food with my own money. I was going out and doing the same thing I was doing there that I was doing before I got there, taking care of myself. And he started asking me questions about it, and I knew why he was questioning me about it, because when you're dealing with a gang stalker and they want to be able to manipulate your body, your health, they want you to eat the things that they prepare for you. So, second or third day I'm there, he's asking me why come I'm not eating in the food that he has in his refrigerator. And I asked him, I said, why are you eating the food that you have in your refrigerator? Like, we come and go and we leave the apartment, for hours. And you have this food in this refrigerator and you say you're targeted. I don't understand how you're coming back in here eating this stuff and feeling okay with it. Oh, I don't worry about that. Really? Okay. Well, that's awesome. I mean, if that's how you operate, then that's how you operate. For me, I knew from the start of me being a targeted individual that I couldn't leave food in my apartment or any place that I'm living and come back and it not be contaminated. So I don't do that. I don't eat food that I've left unattended. So he continues to bicker with me about that, which I felt very strange. Like, you're not buying food for me. I'm buying food for myself. So why does it matter to you what I'm doing where this is concerned? So we kept having, like, exchanges about it. And I said, you know what? If it makes you feel better, I can always purchase a cooler, one that I can lock, bring it in here, and, set it, purchase food, and that would definitely be a cheaper alternative for me. But at this point, I'm good. I'm going to continue to do what I'm doing. That wasn't enough. Well, it just makes me feel weird. Like, you don't, why are you still, acting like you're out on the streets or out in your situation? Because I am. I'm staying with somebody that claims to be a targeted individual as well. So why should I be exempt from these attacks in this respect? Just because I'm with you. Aren't you targeted? So he kept telling on himself. He kept telling on himself on how he was really living. He's not a targeted individual. He's a gang stalker. So in that conversation where he and I are talking about the whole job thing, and he decides that, it's not for me, and, I need to get out and get a job and pay rent and all this and that, which he lied on the first video. If you go back and watch the first video that he made about me, where he said that he wanted me to get out and get a job so that I could help take care of myself, so that I could have a little extra money. I mean, people, look through the lies. Look through the lies. That right there is a bold-faced lie, and you have evidence of that. How much more do you need? Where he sat there and pretended to be this compassionate person who was only concerned about my well-being, and that's why he wanted me to get out and get a job. If you've got ears to hear, he clearly said he wanted me to get out and get a job so that I could pay rent, because I can't live at his place for free. This is the third day that I'm at his apartment, and we never had a conversation about me living with him permanently. So after, he brings that up in the conversation, he's like, just like, my comfortability with the whole cooler thing. And I'm like, you can hear me saying, I never told you I was going to do that. I only was giving you an example of what I would be comfortable with. And I only brought that up because you were attacking me about not eating your food. Besides not eating his food because of the gang stalking issues, he's not a clean person. He never washed his hands. He had some sort of a issue with digging in his butt. He constantly had his fingers in his genitals. And when I finally brought it up, because I brought it up to him because he was, asking me if I wanted, some food that he was eating. And I was like, no, I said, you haven't washed your hands. And I've sat here and watched you, fondle your genitals for the last 30 minutes. So no thanks. And he claims that, it was because of the underwear that he wears. But still, you're not washing your hands when you're doing this. And you're constantly going in and out of your refrigerator. So, I mean, and like I said, I didn't go around taking video footage of his apartment to prove that he was not a clean person. But he was not clean. It was a nice apartment, but he was not clean. He was not a clean person. His bathroom was filthy. Filthy. Soap scum everywhere. Toothpaste splats in the mirror after brush while you're brushing your teeth, and soap scum all in the mirror in the bathroom. He was just not a clean person. Dishes that he's probably had in his sink sitting there for a good 2 weeks when I got there. Food dried in the sink. And the entire time I was there, he never washed those dishes. Now, everyone's going to try to make it seem like, why are you even looking at that? You should be thankful. No, I shouldn't be thankful of anything. If we're both two targeted individuals and we're both struggling, and you've been blessed to have something and get something supposedly out of your struggles, then you should be more than happy to bless somebody else in a way that is not tyrant, that is not disrespectful, and that does not have a dark agenda attached to it. But again, I know 100% that this boy is a gang stalker. So I don't have to question any longer what his motives were, why he did what this or why he did that. I know why. Because he's a gang stalker. And him coming at me about me not eating in that apartment was all that. It was just that same controlling nature of a narcissist. You know, they expect you to come in with this blind trust so they can truly violate you and you not be aware of it. Then he was telling me the story about this young woman that he used to know named Julie, that I feel like he did the same thing to her. And she lives in California, and she's homeless, supposedly. And he was calling her witches. She's a witch. You know, she's not a good person, and, you know, she's done all these horrible things to me. But yet, the last day I was there, he called her and was trying to get her to come out to his apartment. And he kept trying to get me to hook up with her. Why don't you hook up with Julie? Maybe you guys can help each other. So you want me to hook up with somebody that is, based off of what you said, on drugs, a witch, and running the streets of California? But you're interested in helping me. On top of that, had a conversation with Michael about all the things that I had gone through dealing with these agencies and these governmental agencies that claim to want to help domestic violence victims and people who are suffering through, trafficking. And I think it was like the second day I was there, he was trying to arrange to have me go and stay at one of these places. All because he knew I was on to what he had done and what he was doing to me at that apartment. And because I was, taking my time and just really just listening to him and listening to him talk and incriminate himself, he caught on. He knew that I knew what he had done, that's one of the reasons why he was probing me and trying to find out whether or not, I was having any kind of flashbacks of him sexually assaulting me. Again, if you are not quick enough to pick up on the sadistic nature of the narcissists who are gang stalkers, those who are in your family, those who were your friends, those who were in your environment when you began waking up and understanding that there was something different going on in your life, and those people that you thought you knew were no longer the people you thought you knew. If you don't see, and if you can't draw back on their personality, how they've always been in your life, the control they try to have, and the excellent way they are able to be charismatic in people's faces while they're slandering and sabotaging your name, then all I can say is that you haven't learned your lesson, and you're not doing yourself any justice by perpetuating and allowing their behavior to go unknown. So I'm going to play for you guys, like I said, this conversation that I was having with him, and he brought up things about me that, one, he should not know. And when I asked him, how do you know this, or what are you drawing on for an example, couldn't answer it. I don't know anyone that will sit up and have a conversation with somebody and make these kinds of statements and say this kind of horrible things to a person that has already had many conversations with you about being sexually violated. No one but a narcissist and a gang stalker. So I'm going to play this really quick so that you guys can hear what I hear. So I want you guys to clearly and carefully listen to this conversation that he and I are having. And I'm going to continue to post this for those of you who are, so convinced that Michael Barola, the battle is ours, is such a good guy, and he's a good friend, and would be a blessing to have. Like, it's unfortunate that we have so many women, especially, who don't take the word of another woman who is saying that she's been violated, she's been assaulted by this animal, and going off of appearances and going off of videos and going off of these very impersonal interactions, because at the end of the day, you don't know this person. You don't know this person at all. You know this person's videos, you know his conversation, you know the narrative that he has given you. And anyone that's coming on these videos, they're going to try to give you the best version of themselves because they don't want you to know who they truly are. That's what a liar, a narcissist, and a gang stalker does. So, again, it's really unfortunate that you have people who claim to be targeted, claim to understand the mask, claim to understand the workings, the inner workings of these monsters. But then when you're so close to one, and when one is presenting themselves to be something that they're not, which they all do, they all do that. They all pretend to be someone and something that they're not. That is all done to try to disarm you, to try to pull the wool over your eyes so they can continue to manipulate you and harm you. Just like the honeypots, just like, the individuals they send in your life to be your partner, to be your husband, to be your mate, to pretend to be your friend, the people that pretend to be your family members. That's what they do. So him luring me out to California, telling me that, oh, I can help you, and I want to help you, and I don't mind helping you because I'm in a situation where I can help you, and blah, 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 it's just a lie. And if you guys want to know the truth about some of the incidents that I talked about, reach out to Still Blessed. Ask him what happened. Still Blessed is a supposed target. Like I said, I don't know this man, but he claims to be a target. He has a YouTube channel, and he's Michael Barola's boss. They work together, and he was there, and he witnessed the way Michael spoke to me with no warrant, the way he treated me, the way he spoke to him, how he accused him and myself of being a witch and being, this horrible individual, the way he's describing me in these videos, all because I didn't agree with him on his beliefs. And Still Blessed, aka Jason, agreed with me on a lot of the beliefs that I have. And because we were in sync on a lot of the beliefs that we have, he attacked me. And Still Blessed was there on 2 occasions when that happened. Still Blessed was also a witness to me calling him and asking him for help. And Michael got on the phone and told him not to help me. Now, would a nice, caring Christian do that? So if you guys are having trouble believing me because, you don't believe my beliefs, and the fact that I don't believe in Jesus is causing you to believe that I'm somebody that's lying about this stuff, reach out to him and see what he says about those incidents. He was an eyewitness. So like I said, I'm going to go ahead and play this video, this recording of myself sitting having a conversation with Michael, and we're talking about a lot of random subjects, and then all of a sudden, because of something that he felt, he decided he wanted to bring up. I look like I'm a victim of rape. I have a look of victimization of rape on my face, just out of the blue.
there's a certain bond fluid inside of you that it has distress that maybe you're not aware of. Like, for instance, when you're angry, you make this distressed, but it almost look like a orgasm face, where kind of like you hate what you're going through, but it has a connection with your sexual. And that's what they do. I read up on mind control. In MK Ultra, that's what they would do. They would create sexual. They would have to put someone through a sexual state and try to program them in that sexual state. And I kind of see it that there's like a lot of like no, like something maybe you're unaware of, but you have this expression of whenever you're like really like you don't like something, you're disgusted with something, and that the only way I could imagine that you synchronizing that type of expression with that situation is in a rape type scenario.
What does an orgasm have to do with rape?
Oh, never mind. It's too complicated. It's confusing.
No, because this is how. Okay,
for instance,
let me just say, this is how I understand rape. Like, typically, when someone's being raped, and let's just say they were awake, like a woman who's being raped and she's awake, like, an orgasm is going to be the furthest thing from her experience.
No, but let's say, for instance, would she still be able to ever get, like, what if she was being raped? Can she ever
enjoy it?
Not enjoy it, but can she ever get the sensation?
What do you mean?
Can she ever capture the sensation of it? Like, actually produce, semen come?
A woman?
Yeah.
So this sick, disgusting animal is asking me if a woman can have an orgasm from being raped. Now, again, why you're asking the ins and outs of what it's like to be raped in those kind of details is mind-boggling to me. When you're talking to someone who's actually had that experience of being sexually assaulted, why are you asking me that kind of, detail? Number one. And number two, would you ever really, in your wildest dreams, fathom that somebody who's being violated would be able to enjoy it? But these are the questions that this sick animal is asking me. And then he goes on to probe me to try to see if I'm having flashbacks of what he's done to me. And again, you do not need to be a rocket scientist to see what he's doing. The fact that he is probing me. You do not need to be a rocket scientist to see what he is doing. Now, if you don't see what he's doing, more power to you. But for those of you who are not stupid, for those of you who understand the mindset of a narcissist, they really pride themselves on the crimes they commit because they feel like, I've gotten away with that. But at the same time, they want to tell you what they've done to you, but they know it's illegal. So they're trying to, just probe you and try to see, well, are you having any symptoms of flashbacks? Do you ever have moments of where you remember, being assaulted? Now, again, we've had many, many conversations. I started talking to Michael somewhat regularly on the phone during the summer of that year, around May, June. And we had all kinds of deep conversations about what I had gone through, what I had experienced, and not once did he ever ask me any of those kinds of questions. The only reason why he's asking me these kinds of questions now is because of the crime that he's just committed. The crime that he's been committing against me while I was living with him. That's why he's interested in knowing all these intimate details now. So listen on. It's not a joke.
I didn't know.
Yeah, it's not a joke.
I don't know all that, but
and so
that's good knowledge.
Yeah, and so when these cowards do this thing to that sleeping. So for me, like, no, I'm not going to experience an orgasm from this person. All I remember is the pain when I wake up.
Well, okay, then okay. First off, you're drugged, so you wouldn't be asleep, because if you're drugged, you wouldn't be asleep.
Well, it's the same.
You'd be in a sleep conscious. You'd be in like a really drugged state like this because.
No, not with a tranquilizer. Tranquilizers don't put you in trances.
Because you must have seen their facial expression and synchronized that with your hatred. Because I interpret that.
Michael, my hatred comes from the fact that.
No. Because when it's like this, and I'm not like in a bad way. I mean, and I don't want you to feel that way, but you make like a sexual face whenever you're really disgusted.
How do you know what?
Because whenever you talk about like something you're like you really don't like, or even if you hate something, like I can tell like you hate something.
Oh yeah.
You make this sexual face, but it's almost like it was given to you were synchronized.
Well, how do you know what the sexual face looks like?
Because you only make it when you talk about something you hate.
But how do you know what my sexual face looks like?
Well, I don't know. It looks like a sexual face.
That's what I'm asking. Like, what are you comparing it to?
I would just think that that's a sexual face. I would just assume that.
Now, earlier in this conversation, and you may not have heard it, but I'll play this video, this recording for you guys, in singularity. But earlier, he says he's a virgin, which is one of the reasons why I'm confused as to what he knows about sex and sex faces and orgasm faces and things of that nature, when you've just said in this very conversation that you're a virgin. But you are telling a person that you've never met before in your life, supposedly, that their face of disgust looks like their orgasmic face. How is that possible?
That's a sexual face.
But I'm saying, like, you're very confident, so how can you be so confident that it's a sexual face?
Okay, so let's say I hate something. Like, I hate something.
Like the face that you just made, I would not equivalent that to a sexual face. Like the face that you just made, where you were like.
But you're like, kind of like, I don't know. Oh, maybe I'm wrong. Yeah, maybe.
Yeah, but what are you comparing it to? Like,
I don't know.
Have you seen something? So.
I mean, I've seen people make that face.
You can be honest. I mean, are you comparing that to some sort of derogatory magazine or video that you watched?
No.
So where are you capturing?
Me and my sister used to play a game, and we used to make a joke. We used to go like this, and we just thought it was really funny. And we would just, and then she would do. Right.
So, again, this is the mind of a sick individual, someone who is completely emotionless when it comes to the feelings of other people, when it comes to people's torture and people's pain. The manner of trivializing that and, speaking to someone that has suffered through that in such a casual and cavalier manner. But not only that, but to ask the questions that you're asking that only a sick animal who has committed a crime against you and enjoyed it and knows or feels like you're never going to know because they had you drugged would ask an individual. So again, if you can't see that, then again, I feel bad for you. And my advice for you is to not to ever reach out and ask for help from somebody that's supposed to be in this community. Because, gang stalkers, they're not the most intelligent people, but they're smart. And the main thing is that they have a lot of resources and a lot of people backing them because they are the majority. These satanic demons who worship Satan, the devil, in secret, they are the majority. And that's one of the reasons why they're able to commit crimes against you and sabotage your income flow, sabotage your ability to keep a roof over your head, sabotage your ability to have